back to Teacher Tech Bytes. On this video, I will be showing you how to create an assignment on Prodigy game. So when you first log in, it's going to automatically take you to your dashboard. You'll need on the left hand side to click Assessments and then Create Assessment. For this video, I'm going to go ahead and just do the assignments. So that's the second option. And then you can click Continue. It should automatically pull up your location from where you had set up your account. Then you can choose which grade. And then you have different selections you can choose from. And under each selection, there are other options. Depending on the selection, there'll be more than one option. Some of them might have multiple. Just to show a few here. Then you can check mark the ones that you want. If you're not sure exactly or you want to double check and make sure that is what you are wanting, there's little eyes over here and you can hover over them and it'll show you an example of those problems. Then you can check mark the ones that you want. One mistake that I've noticed a lot of teachers will do is they will not open the selections and they will check mark the whole entire thing. And then they'll go through and they'll check mark a bunch of other stuff. And it puts you over the maximum of 50 questions. In this case, there was 51 questions. So I can just minimize one of the questions options to just 2. But I also recommend not doing this and just trying to, so your students don't get so overwhelmed. So for this example, I'm just going to choose one and then click Next. And then you can choose how many questions on that. So if you just choose one, you can choose to do 10 or 20 questions of that. As long as your total number of questions does not go over 50, then you just choose Next. Here you can give an assignment name. And then you can choose the students that you wish to give those problems to. In this example, I only have one student, which is my account. Then you click Next. And now you can choose a start and an end day. So the first thing I want you to do is choose a start day. And then I want you to choose an end date. So depending on how many problems there are or how many different types, you can judge that. Or some teachers like to set it up to where if they're going to be learning something that week, then that's what their problems are for the whole week. And then after you selected that, you can just click Create. And it'll automatically put the assignment for you right here and you can see it. Now I did say in my last video that when you first set up your students, I recommend that you wait until after the placement test is completed. I'm not sure if it still does it, but it used to. If you put an assignment on there, it would override the placement test. I recommend using that placement test option. That way you can see where your students are at and what kind of level they are on. And then that way you can put math problems to their needs to help them get caught up, or if they're really far ahead, to help them stay challenged. Once your assignment is up and students have started completing it, you can click on it and go to View Report. And here it will show you either in green or in red if they got right or wrong, and their overall percentage of those questions. You can also hover over the question number to see what their problem was. And you can, if you have multiple students, you can actually scroll through, see the question, the correct answer, and you can see exactly what they answered on that question. I like this option because this is where I can normally see the students who aren't trying. They just type in random numbers, and I can show them that I can see that, and then they normally start trying. This is a great way for online learning instead of trying to create worksheets and posting them in Google Classroom and trying to get the feedback from students to get their answers to grade them. This will automatically grade them, and you can see exactly what their answers were. So if you need to, you could sit down with them, whether if you're in class or if you're online, then you can have a separate meeting, online meeting with them, and help them get a better understanding. Now, the other cool assignment that I really use for my third graders and up is the prepare for students for ACT. You pick your location and which test, which here in Arkansas we have the ACT Aspire, and then you can choose the grade and you click next. These normally average about 100 questions, so they're not going to be able to complete them in a week. So I recommend expanding them for quite a while. But they can't be longer than 30 days. So you're looking at about 3 to 4 weeks. And then you click create. And it'll let you know about how many minutes per day they need to work on it to complete the entire test. Just like the assignments, you can click on view report. And you have these arrows over here where you can scroll through. On this case, there was exactly 100 questions. And just like before, you can see the questions and you can see the answers and you can see what they put for each one of your students. So if you have multiple students, each student name will be listed right here, if they got it right or wrong, and then what their answer was. There's also a chart where you can click where it says struggling, and you need to be able to see the students who are having a harder time. Another thing I like to do with this one is I normally tell the students if they do an 80% or higher, then I'll normally give them a game pass, which is where they can play a game during their computer time rather than working on the assignment, such as like typing or coding. So that is one option, so you can do rewards for a certain percentage. That way students are actually trying really hard and you can actually get a full-on understanding of what they need to practice before they take the test. Now, the other assignment is standards. And you have different domains that you can do. And then you can read through each standard and then you can find the one that you feel that the students need to work on. Check mark it, click next, come up with a name for it. I normally just do the same name as the standard. And once again, choose the date. And you don't have to choose the same start date. You can work ahead, plan ahead. You can do it to where it's only on one day. And once again, you can go to view report. Now, in this case, it is not going to show you the problems. It's going to show you who has a better understanding. Whether they're having a hard time, they're doing okay, or if they're above. and then you'll get an average score of all your students. I believe this one will list your students, and then you can list the skills and see which students are struggling in what skills. So Prodigy has a lot to offer, especially with the assignments. You can get them ready for state testing. You can give them homework or classwork assignments on here, and then just get the reports percentage overall. These scores do not import into the Google Classroom gradebook, so you will have to hand type these grades in. However, it's still better than having to flip through papers and grade papers, because it'll automatically grade it for you. And that was how to create the assignments on Prodigy. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you know when my next video will be posted. And I'll see you in the next video.